Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Santussa kocha subharocha appakechocha sallakavut santindriyocha nipakocha appagabho kulesu ananugidho. Venerable Chief Naikahampo says, friends and children in the Dhamma, welcome for our Saturday Dhamma talk. We are continuing Karaniya Metta Sutta. So far we have explained the first verse and a half of the second verse. Karaniyang atta kusalena. Atta kusala, for one's well-being. Karaniyam, these things should be done. For what? Yantang santang padang abhisami. If there is a state of serenity, to achieve that state of serenity, you should do this. You should bring these qualities into your life. They are sakko, capability, skillfulness, uju, uprightness, suju, extremely uprightness, suacho, easy to be admonished, mudu, gentle, anatimani, humble. Santussako, contented, subharo, easy to maintain or easy to take care of, appakicho, with less duties and responsibilities, sallahukavutti, simple livelihood. Today we continue the rest of the virtues, beginning with Santindriyocha nipakocha appagabho kulesu ananugidho. Santindriyo, Sant Indriya. Indriya are the faculties. Indriya are the five senses. In fact, in Buddhism, mind also taken to the status of a indriya, of a faculty. Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, chakku, sota, ghana, jivha, kaya, mana. Now these are called indriyas in the sense of controlling or dominating. Indra, we all know that is a name given for kind of a powerful Hindu deity. Indra, a ruler. So these faculties rule, control, dominate over their respective objective areas. For example, eye, the objective area is visions, sceneries, color, forms. No other faculty, no other indriya can interfere or interrupt the area of the eye. Once you lose the vision of your eyes, your ears cannot do anything about it. Neither nose, nor the tongue, nor the body. So visions are dominated only by your eyes. So since they have this dominating effect on their respective areas, they are called indriyas. So there are 6 indriyas: Santa indriya, serene senses. Now, when we think about the serenity of the senses, these senses are materials. It belongs to the body. It doesn't belong to the mind. So it is neutral. It has neither serenity nor the turbulence. It is neither disturbed nor peaceful. It is containing a neutral position. Then why Buddha asked monks to have this serene senses? It is in the sense of taking care of the senses to avoid disturbing the mind through these senses, because these senses function as doors to the 6 exterior external objects. For the eye, for the chakku, rupa, form. Actually, in Abhidhamma, it is explained that the eyes doesn't see the form. Eyes only see the color. One color is the objective area for the eyes. Then Sadda, the sound for the ear. Odors, smells for the nose. Flavors for the tongue. Tangibles for the body. And mental objects for the mind. So these external objects, external forces enter into our being, enter into the consciousness, or consciousness contact these external objects via these 6 senses. When the consciousness and the 6 sense bases or 6 sense areas, indriyas, contact the external colors, sounds, smells, taste, tangibles, and the thoughts. This connection create a completely different types of consciousness based on the particular sense faculty. That consciousness itself is categorized into 6 groups. They are the eye consciousness. If you see something, and based on your seeing, if your consciousness completely overwhelmed or taken into the shape, taken into the authority of your vision, that particular consciousness is called eye consciousness. If you hear something, then if your consciousness overwhelmed with that hearing, and your thought process continues with that hearing, that consciousness is the ear consciousness. It doesn't mean there is a consciousness at your ears, at your nose, at your tongue, or in your body. It means with the arising, with the approaching of your external objects through these six senses, when your consciousness changed, the pattern of thinking, the emotions, when the consciousness changed according to the object you receive, that consciousness is named after that particular sense faculty from which that object came into you. So this whole life, this 6 fathom long body, this fathom long body is nothing but sacrifice to please these 5 senses and their necessities. Now you can see how influencing, how dominating these 6 senses in our lives. Our whole life is sacrificed to please these 6 senses. And our minds get changed time to time, day in, day out, in accordance with the objects from outside seep into our inner being through these 6 senses. They are doors, dwara. So they are called either 6 sense faculties or 6 doors. Now what happens if you just open your doors at home without overseeing them, without controlling who is coming in? What would happen? Anybody can come in, friendly or hostile, people you like or people you don't like, people who will come and increase your happiness, increase your peacefulness, and also people who will come in and destroy your happiness and create turbulence. Both the types of people will come in if you just open your door of your house in the same manner. If you do not put a restraint at your 6 senses, at your sense doors, then any external, any object belong to the exterior can come and disturb you. Friends, enemies, both. They will not find any thwarting, any controlling at your sense doors. They are like open doors. Anything can enter you and disturb you totally, completely. Then you are being robotic. You are being a machine. You have no control over your own life. Others control you. Outside controls you. Outside to your life, outside to this physical body, people or animate or inanimate can control you. They can control you, not you control them. because you don't have a control over your senses. Then how can you have a serene senses? Your senses are completely out of control. In one moment you are happy because something which caused happiness for you happened outside, so you are happy. And in another moment they changed their allegiance, they changed their friendliness to the enmity, and now you are sad, now you are unhappy. In accordance with the other's wish, we are becoming happy or unhappy. But if we have a control, because we cannot control others, outside is beyond our control. In this world things are happening. Buddha says the 8 vicissitudes: gain, loss, fame, shame, blame, praise, comfort, discomfort. We cannot control this stuff. These things are happening moment to moment around us. But if we are capable of being conscious of the things happening around us, we can stop them overpowering us. We can stop them torturing us. We can stop them at the outside without letting them come and disturb you. Meditation is the method, but before the meditation, there must be some control over the senses. If that control is not there, meditation is impossible to happen. This control of the senses causes the senses to be serene, santindriyo. That's why Buddha has promulgated precepts mainly for the purpose of controlling these senses. Over 200 precepts are there. Majority of those precepts are aimed at controlling the 6 senses. Once a householder, he became a monk. So he wanted to learn the rules and regulations. Of course, he has to learn so much of rules to remember, memorize, because then he knows how to behave, how to talk, how to do stuff, how to avoid, what to avoid. He will know with the learning of those rules and regulations. Then he was tired. I had so much of responsibilities, duties at my home when I was doing business and doing all sorts of jobs to earn money, take care of my family. I became a monk to live a simple life. What is this? What is this with learning all these rules, regulations, so much to remember? There is no simplicity in this life. So he went to the Buddha and complained to the Buddha. I cannot do like this. I cannot by heart all these rules and regulations. Please tell me a simple way. While following my rules and to follow the path of the Dhamma, to cultivate my spirituality. Then the Buddha said, you don't worry about by hearting all those rules. You are quite elderly. you remember to control your verbal activities. Control your mouth. Can you do that? Of course I can do that. Then control your actions. Tame down your actions. Then control your mind. If you control your verbal actions, physical actions, and then the mind, then you are preserving all those precepts. Control these triple aspects of your life: verbal, physical, and mental. So the initial level of controlling these senses are vital for one's development, for one's cultivation in the path of the Nibbana. Because if your senses are not tamed, controlled, it means your mind is not tamed. Your mind is uncontrolled. So the surface level adopted serenity towards these senses are important to cultivate within you, to develop your serenity within you. Santindriyo, to have serene senses, serene faculties. Santindriya, Santindriyo. Nipako, clever. Now we found Nipaka or clever again in the same list. Like before, because there is already a word for clever in this list. It is called Sakko. Sakko ujucha sujucha. Sakko also clever, capability. Then why this is Nipaka here in this list? The reason is, here the Nipaka is to be clever and to be clever to apply it. There are people who understand the Dhamma, but when they are applying that Dhamma into the practice, the application doesn't work. They know, they understand, they have the wisdom, but they do not know how to apply it. They are wise, but they do not know how to think wisely, how to observe wisely, how to reflect wisely. So wisdom and wise reflection is two areas. People have wisdom, but they do not know how to apply it. Nipaka represents that application of wisdom. You should know, as a monk, as a monastic who left the household life, his purpose is the spiritual development, nothing else. That is the main purpose, major purpose. He should understand, he should have the wisdom to understand what is his purpose now. And then he should behave, he should be careful and clever to find places to live which are less obstructive for his new way of life. Now there was this monk called Punna. He came to the Buddha, listened to the Dhamma, learned the path of the Dhamma, learned the technique of the Dhamma, and then he decided to go back to his village, to his hometown, to continue his practicing. He went to the Buddha and asked his permission to go back. But the Buddha understood from where he came, his hometown is not a suitable place for the meditator. They are very rough, rude, angry, hostile type of people. Now you are a different person. You are following a different path. People are scared of differences. People are hostile towards differences, towards the things they don't understand. So those people are now different to you. They do not understand your practice. So Punna, they can be hostile towards you. Are you capable of being endurant, being patient towards these hostilities of those people? Then Buddha asked him a series of questions to check about his patience. Because without such a patience, he cannot have his spiritual development there. So Buddha checked whether this monk who has the knowledge and whether he is capable of applying that knowledge to cope with that situation. Now, this is something important. Nipaka. For a monk, he must understand where to meditate, where not to meditate. Not all the places are convenient for meditation. Meditation is not something to be exhibited. Meditation is something private, personal, individual thing. So you should be clever to find the suitable place for meditation. And Buddha gave a list of places. Aranya gatova, sunyagara gatova, rukkamula gatova. Go to a place where there are no obstacles to you, no disturbances, no obstructive forces to alter your practice. Otherwise, at the initial level itself, your meditation will be destroyed if you find the wrong place for practicing. Nipaka. This cleverness must be there to be practicing continuously, to not to stop, to find the suitable place, suitable area for someone to live peacefully, someone to continue with the spiritual journey. He must be clever. There was a monk. He was appointed as Buddha's temporary attendant. One day Buddha and this monk was traveling, and he saw a beautiful place. So beautiful, on the banks of a river, white sand, it's shady with big trees, so quiet, nobody to disturb. But it is too much for him, the attachment for this place. he requested the Buddha's permission to go and meditate there. Buddha, seeing the danger in that place and seeing his over enthusiasm for that place, Buddha rejected. It is not the right place for you. But this monk was insisting, and ultimately he handed over the Buddha's utensils to Buddha and went there to meditate. And he was practicing, but nothing happened. He's not developing at all. His mind is so disturbed. It is so turbulent. He is overwhelmed with sensual desires than ever. He couldn't understand this turbulence within him as soon as he started practicing in this particular place. Then he went back to the Buddha and explained to the Buddha what happened. Buddha said, it is bound to happen, because before this life, in one of your lives in the samsara, you have been a king, and you came to that particular place to spend your free time with your queens, with your harem, and that place you are enjoying your sensual pleasures. That's why you are attracted there. But that place is never suitable for someone to meditate like you. Somebody else's might be all right, but not for you. Therefore, this nipaka must be there in a meditator, in a monastic, to fulfill his monastic life, to develop spiritually as well as fulfill the necessities of the monastic life. There are challenges to face. There are difficulties to face. There are obstacles to overcome in the monastic life. Not a bed of roses. So, as a monk, you must have that ability, you must have that wisdom to apply and to overcome those difficulties. That is what the Buddha meant in this word nipaka. Being clever. Continue your monastic life with less difficulties. For that, being wise and applying that wisdom is represented by this term nipaka. Santindriyo cha nipako cha. Appagabbo, being courteous. Pagabba is non-courteous, haughty, or kind of arrogant, kind of non-complying behavior. This behavior is physical, verbal, and mental. Kaya pagabba, vachi pagabba, and mano pagabba. Now, those days as well as nowadays, you can find a monk, if he is staying in a temple, there will be always a group of monks. It is not a singular life. So, when you are living with a group of monastics who have the same goal of enlightenment at the corner, and who are living in the same place, same environment, there are situations that behavior of one or two monks, physical behavior, kaya pagabba, can destroy, can harm the peace, the serenity, the happiness of the other monks. Especially when they are not courteous. Especially when they are not behaving in a respectful, understanding manner. Because in Buddhism, the spiritual age is most respected. If somebody ordains today, it doesn't matter how old he is physically. Chronological age doesn't have any special place in Buddhism. Spiritual age. So if somebody ordains tomorrow, he is 60 years old, and somebody got ordained yesterday, he is 8 years old, young monk, young novice. And that novice who was ordained today, who is 60 years old, is younger than the novice who was ordained yesterday, who is 8 years old. Now naturally, this physically old novice will not find easy to accept that this 8-year-old novice is older than him. He is going in front when they are going for their arms round. He is sitting in the refectory hall when they are taking alms. Before him, he is older than him spiritually. Usually, this is not something easy to digest for the old novice, right? So there are these kind of issues bound to occur when they are living together, the same monastics. So to alter this kind of behavior, Buddha had promulgated so much of precepts, of course. And in this sutta it says, Kaya Paghabba, to avoid all sorts of discourteous physical actions which can disturb the peaceful environment of a monastery. Then comes the Vachi Paghabba, to be courteous, not to be discourteous. Vachi Paghabba is discourteous words, disrespectful words. So Apagabha become courteous in verbal actions. Talk in that respectful manner. When the young monk, spiritually young, when they talk to the elder monks, the courtesy must be there. Not just physically, verbal courtesy. And this is very helpful. This physical courtesy and the verbal courtesy for the lasting peace, happiness in the community, right? So if someone were to behave in a discourteous manner, what happens is then many can be disturbed. This disturbance is harmful for their spiritual practice, especially for somebody beginner, somebody who is just beginning the spiritual journey. His meditation can be completely gone astray, destroyed with somebody else's discourtesy. Then the third one is Manopaghabba. Manopaghabba is, of course, not about others, but which is harmful to oneself. To have the thoughts of sensuality all the time, to allow those sensual thoughts to dominate him, control him, and to nurse them all the time within. That is manopagabha, and that one also can destroy one's own spiritual practice. So he must know how to control, how to suppress those thoughts of sensual desires, and not allowing them to surface often. So these are the triple pagabhas, discourtesies one should avoid to become apagabho. Not to have discourtesies, to be courteous. Kaya pagabha, vachi pagabha, mano pagabha. Santindriyo cha nipakocha appagabho kulesu ananugito. This is the last one. Kula is the families. Ananugidho. Anugidho means greediness. Now, when somebody becomes a monastic, he has to live his household life. His family must be left behind. Yeah. He become, now this is translated as homeless. He become homeless, but it is not in the general sense that you might know. It is to become a person who doesn't live in a general house. Now you leave one family behind, then come to become a monastic. And when you are stationed in one place, one particular temple or a monastery, what happened is there will be few families or number of families, they start supporting you. And when you continue to stay there, and these supporters become your close devotees, and these devotees and the monk and the monastic, unknowingly, being even without intentional, they will create a kind of a connection, strong connection. Being compassionate towards the devotees and supporting their spiritual needs is one thing, but creating greed in him for the support, for the benefit he receives from the devotees, and becoming hypocritical about the devotees, and becoming somebody who is not suitable for a life of a monastic because of the greediness towards the support from the devotees, that monk is gone astray from his spiritual development. He left one family, now he has created attachment to hundreds of families. Yeah. He left one small desire, one small connection, now he is being connected with hundreds of families. This is completely a life that the Buddha rejected to have. That's why in the Metta Sutta Buddha says, Kulesu ananugiddo, do not have the greed towards those benefits that one receives from his devotees. Yeah? It can destroy his spiritual development. Far from getting closer to the Nibbana, he can be moving far away from the Nibbana because of that greed. So it is better keeping the connection with the devotees, being mindful of one's own responsibility for the devotees, spiritual guidance, spiritual assistance, but also keeping a gap, keeping a distance between devotees and the monk is something very important for the monk. Otherwise, he will be lost. Otherwise, he will lose his original plan when he became a monastic. Sabba dukkha nissarana nibbana satchikaranatthana. Sabba dukkha nissarana, to get rid of all the suffering. Nibbana satchikaranatthaya, to attain the final liberation of Nibbana. That's why he became a monastic. These devotees are supporting him, creating unnecessary attachment towards them, can thwart his progress forthright, completely. So therefore, he has to be mindful. So these are the mental attitudes, psychological environment one has to develop within him prior to the entering into the meditation. Now, of course, in this sutta, the meditation is confined to Metta meditation. Next week, we are going to start that Metta meditation. The guidelines of the Metta meditation given in this sutta are very important. This few weeks, we explained the psychological background one should develop within him as a supportive background for that meditation to happen. It means if you do not have this spiritual or psychological background developed, adopted and practiced within you prior to your meditation, that meditation won't be that successful. So before the meditation happen, you should develop these, or you should adopt and practice upon, change your attitude upon these qualities. What are they? Sakho, capable, skillful, clever. Uju, upright. Suju, extremely upright. I explained to you this. Uju as verbal and physical uprightness. Suju as mental uprightness. That means you are upright absolutely. Upright means you are avoiding the paths which are distractions and you are following the right path, which is middle path towards Nibbana. That is the basic uprightness. Uju suju. Swacho, easy to admonish, easy to be admonished. Mudo, gentle. Anathimani, humble. Then in the second verse, santussako, contented. Subharo, not a weight for others, in the sense of that others can easily take care of you. Santussakocha, subharocha, appakichocha, nothing much to do. You have confined yourself, limited yourself for the activities which is supportive for your spiritual development. Appakicho, nothing much to do, not much activity. Sallahukavutti, simple livelihood, simplicity in your livelihood. And today we explained Santindriyo Chanipakocha, Santindriyo with the serene senses, serene sense faculties, Santa Indriya, Nipakocha, cleverness, ability to be wise and to apply that wisdom, to have a peaceful surrounding environment, lifestyle for one's practices to be successful. Nipako. Appagabho, to be courteous. Give up, let go the discourtesy and to be courteous so that you do not create hostile environment among the Sangha members that you are practicing with. Yeah. And then comes the last one, Kulesu Ananugiddho, the non-greediness towards the benefit you receive from the families of the devotees. So these are the factors one should develop, one should adopt and practice upon to create that mental background, psychological background for the meditation to plant, meditation, the seed of meditation to plant within. Yeah, in this psychological background, when the meditation happens, that meditation will be resulted with the jhanas, with the absorptions, and with the development towards the supramundane paths, stages of supramundane. So next week we will be starting to explain the Metta meditation, which is the main target of this sutta, and the factors of Metta meditation, the way, the method of its development is explained in this sutta. So we are going to explain them elaborately with the details on these factors of Metta meditation, yeah, in the coming weeks. So please join with us, New Jersey Buddhist Vihara, under the guidance of Venerable Naika Hamduro, and with the support of other venerable monks. We are continuing this Dhamma talk for the benefit of our devotees and the rest of all the people who are interested in learning Dhamma. So even in this pandemic situation, we are still open. The statue, the beautiful statue, is there for you to come and pay respect, offer something, and receive the blessings, which is very important in these difficult times, and to share this Dhamma on every Saturday. So with that, let's conclude this talk and share these merits together with our departed ones and the Devas. May all these merits be shared by whosoever, wherever now, wherever they are now, may they be rejoiced with all these beautiful, meritorious thoughts that we generated in our hearts, and may their present existences become blissful, happy, and peaceful by the power of these merits. If they are suffering, may they be enabled to move on to a better existence with the power of these merits. May the Devas be rejoiced with these merits. May their support, may their assistance be with you all for your well-being, for your happiness, for you to overcome these disastrous times and to be healthy, peaceful, happy. So let's share these merits together with Devas, together with our departed one. Akasatta Chabummatta Deva Naga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkantu Lokasasanang Chiran Rakkantu Desanang Chiran Rakkantu Paranti Ettavata Chammehi Sambatam Punya Sampadam Sabbe Deva Anumodantu Sabbe Bhuta Anumodantu Sabbe Satta Anumodantu Sabba Sampatti Siddhya Idamme Nyate Nang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo Idamme Nyate Nang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo Idamme Nyate Nang Hotu Sukita Hontu Nyatayo. Blessings for you. Dukkaroga bhayavera soka sabbe upaddava aneka antarayapi vinassantu ca tejasa jaya siddhidanang labhang sotti bhagyam sukam balam tiriyayu ca vanno ca bhogam uddhi ca yasava satavasa ca ayu ca jiva siddhi bhavantu te sabbitiyo vivajjantu sabbarogo vinassatu माते भवत्वन्तरायो सुखी दीर्घायुको भव भवतु सब्ब मंगलं रक्षन्तु सब्ब देवता सब्ब बुद्धानुभावेन सब्ब धम्मानुभावेन सब्ब संघानुभावेन सदा सत्ये भवन्तु ते। साधु।